It was from this point forward that players no longer needed to even join a guild to experience the endgame content. They didn't need to read strategies, and they didn't even need to speak a single word, in fact, as Blizzard deemed it an issue that 100% of the player base were not completing these raids in their entirety. The accomplishment of clearing a raid would be more accessible than ever before.
I think I fundamentally disagree with that. And here's where I might lose some people, and that's okay. But I really feel like back in Classic WoW, how many players actually rated Nax or AQ40? It was like 1%. Like, I never did. But I thought it was cool inspecting someone with Nax gear, and it gave me a reason to keep playing, because it was like really hard to get to that. How many people killed Illidan in TBC? How many people killed Arthas, or the Lich King, in Wrath? Almost nobody, right? Like, on the hardest difficulties. Like, or even difficulties, maybe in Wrath. Like, my point is almost nobody. I didn't, but it was still awesome. Almost no one cleared it, but it was still awesome. And those were the expansions where everyone seems to like the best, and not many people did it. I don't buy this, like, we have to get everybody to all the content kind of thing. It's like, no, if you're a casual noob, then you can be a casual noob and just kind of level up and do some heroics and mythics or whatever the heck, and then maybe eventually you can get to the end game, or maybe not if you don't want to put the time in, but that's okay. You can still have fun, and other players who are more dedicated can, and then you can inspect them and get motivated because they have cool and rare stuff that you did not put the time into achieving, so you don't get to have the privilege of wearing that title or that mount or that gear set. So too bad, but it gives you something to look forward to, and it gives you a little, like, carrot on the stick, so to speak. But when you just kind of like give this accessibility to everyone, it starts undermining the whole point of playing the game in the first place. There's no carrot anymore, and then all of a sudden everyone stops. It's like, oh, what's the point? And not only that, but the degradation of, like, the social systems and hierarchies and structures, like guilds, like speaking to someone, like making and interacting with friends. These things are important, right? Like, oh, I'm not going to join a guild anymore. It's kind of like Tinder for dating, and people just keep swiping and swiping and swiping. I mean, hey, if you found your significant other on Tinder, or your wife or something, or husband, like, that's fantastic. But a lot of people really struggle because there's so many options and so much accessibility. It's hyper accessibility, and that isn't necessarily a good thing at the end of the day either. Because it's like, oh, this didn't work out perfectly, on to the next one then, instead of trying to figure it out, right? All right, old man boomer rant over. Let's keep watching.
But as a result, the